Yo, what's going on? It's your boy DJ Zay.
Yo, Swaggy T, man. You're now tuning in to another edition of CRTV.
CRTV.
We back, man. Back with the Entrepreneurs Edition, man. Getting back to the creators and shit. Let them get the spotlight, man. Who we got with us today?
Kelvin Michael. Okay, a lot of y'all know me as Lisa Single founder and head designer, and not many of y'all like us.
Definitely appreciate you for showing up, man. Because like the one thing we really want to do is like give back to like the creators and like kind of let people know like we interview a lot of people from like artists, entrepreneurs, and all just different types of like content creators and everything. So I just appreciate you for like really taking the time to sit down with us and like kind of let people know your story and what you got going on for real and everything. So where's it really start for you and everything?
Well, it started for me when I was young. As far as like just being an entrepreneur and just doing things, it started off like selling candy at high school. Selling the Wayne. Y'all too young for that. Selling the Wayne mixtapes when the Droughts was out. I used to be in my fault. I used to be in on LimeWire. I used to be downloading all the mixtapes, burning the CDs, and selling them in high school right across from the principal's office.
Yeah.
Wait, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's crazy because I used to have my CDs on one side of the joint, and then I used to have like these bags of candy. I go to Sam's Club and I go grab the pound of the candy, and it sounds crazy, but I'll break them joints down.
Break them down.
Right, break it down.
Count
Bag
them,
little
bag
joints.
them. All right.
And I would sell like a bag of like assorted candy for like $1, and then I sell the mixtapes for like $5. I used to come out like $300 a week.
So your own variety pack?
Yeah, facts. My mom put me on too. She bought me my first pound of candy. That's hilarious.
First pound.
Yeah, but as far as the song goes and like the brand in general, that started in 2018. It's crazy because I was working at Comcast for Wax.
Oh yeah, team and shit. Well, not team, but like
Not team, but like for his dad.
Yeah.
And it wasn't for me, and I quit and I became an entrepreneur ever since then. So that's what it was.
So what was kind of like the early stage of you really like starting your brand and everything? Kind of just like the early inspiration on what made you want to kind of like start designing.
Well, I was designing since I was young. I started like painting on T-shirts that match my Nikes and my SBs or like my Jordans, and then when I started the brand, naturally it was just my life. My life was my life, and still to this day, my life is my inspiration on how I actually run the brand. I don't move off of like, I seen something, so I want to make it.
right.
If I'm not in a good space and I got to teach myself a lesson or I got to give myself some type of, motivation, I create a T-shirt off of whatever my mind is going through. Like when I first started, evolution is mandatory if you choose to fly was the first T-shirt that I put out. And that's something that I realized early in the stages. If I really wanted to pick up and I really wanted to move the way I wanted to move, I had to evolve. And that's kind of how it moves as I'm moving through the stages in my life. That's where the inspiration comes for the brand.
All right, so like that right there was kind of like the quote for like one of like the first early shirts.
Yeah.
So what was kind of like you transitioning from like being in Comcast and everything, and it's kind of like a lot of times like people may be scared to kind of like want to like jump
Take that
off
leap.
and like take that leap and want to like really start their own shit and everything. Like, what was kind of like your thought process going through like really just like going through the gate?
When I first I'll tell you what it was exactly. I had they do like big meetings on Mondays. Everybody comes to the office or whatever, and you sit down, and the heads of like the branch, like whatever it is, the footprint comes and talks to you, and they said somebody died on top of a ladder, and like somebody got electrocuted or some crazy stuff, and it fell off the ladder and died.
Whoa.
And in my head, I'm like, for $15 an hour, like hell no.
That's not I promise you, that's not worth it.
But after that, once I heard that, I was already kind of on the fence, and then I went home. Me and my boy Stu, we grabbed these hoodies and grabbed some like material, and I sold I sold out and I made more money in a day that I made in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, if I'm going to get better at something, I might as well get better at this. So I quit my job that next week, and I've been rocking ever since.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's tough.
That's tough because like a lot of people can't do
Yeah,
that because
right.
like I think like a lot of times like with certain creators and everything, they always have kind of doubts where like in their head they always think like, yo, what if this shit doesn't work out?
I mean,
Yeah.
I go through that every day.
Mm.
But it's really
Mindset.
it's not even, yeah, it is a mindset, but also too, it's like, I tell people this that ask me these types of questions all the time. All you got to do is get to 12 o'clock.
Mm.
If you can get to 12 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
then you made it to the next day. Whether you went to sleep or you didn't, you made it to the next day.
Yeah.
So naturally, if you able to get to 12 a.m., you know that you got past anything that you could have went through that day.
Right.
And if you able to keep making it to 12 a.m.
And exceeding your marker,
and
then,
whether you're not exceeding or you not, as long as you pushing through, you ain't dead. You know, you still able to move. You still able to at least use the gifts that God gave you. Then it's like, then you Gucci. Because at some point in time, that 1:12 a.m., you might have that one time where you right.
yeah.
And then you gonna be like, oh shit, like I got some more motivation to go for the next
For real.
3-4 months, and then you gonna hit that same thing again. But that's like natural progression of anybody.
Yeah.
So it's just human nature.
For real.
So you started the brand in 2018 and everything. What was kind of like the first like early like bodies of work like you was kind of like working on like during like the startup?
Well, 2018, I wasn't even putting nothing out. I was just making stuff
Okay.
with the logo on it, and I was just posting it all over. I was putting it in front of people's faces, so they just kind of was wondering like, yo, what is he doing? Like, what is these letters? Or what are these letters? And then 2019 is when I actually made it an official business, and I actually started selling products.
Because that's how I found out like my first introduction like into the brand and everything was kind of like just seeing like the whole like acronym and everything and seeing like the like original like initials, but I don't think no one kind of like understood at the time. Like was it like a certain like formally like you had to it like by just putting like the letters?
Yeah, I believe so. I think it was just how I thought about it. It was like I was like, well, if I'm going to sell something, at least I want people to kind of wonder. It was kind of like an anticipation, kind of like build up. It's like, how can I build some type of anticipation so when I finally do it, they know what's going on. And it's like, oh, snap. And then, of course, like once I make it, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's tough and then you able to understand what's going on now, it's like, oh, nah, like that kind of to me felt like a good marketing scheme to get people to want to come and grab, one, the support, and two, to finally get the reveal or whatever those letters was, those 5 letters were.
Yeah.
So, which was not many are like us, but the acronym is pronounced NMALU. And once people seen it, like I told you, I sold out that first day and quit my job that next week, and I ain't never looked back. So it's been working out so far.
So when did you really like kind of like see the steam like picking up as far as like the whole thing, like just in total, like when people really started to catch on?
What's actually kind of crazy is it picked up a lot of steam like early on. Like I don't want to say it picked up a lot of steam, but people recognized and they seen the work that I was putting in.
Yeah.
Cause I was on Instagram learning how to sew in front of everybody.
Oh yeah, I think I seen you.
Yeah,
You was on like IG or live or some shit.
Yeah, I'll be on IG Live or I'll be on my story, but it was really me just being on Instagram a lot and learning how to sew in front of people's eyes. And then as the time was progressing, they like, oh nah, like he not just out here playing, like he really do this.
Like he's hand making like his own like material and like actually kind of like showing
putting
you,
your
like,
hands on the product.
Right, exactly. And a lot of people is most getting their stuff from overseas or having somebody
Mass
else do it.
production.
But even then, like as I was growing, like I was getting bigger machines.
Yeah.
I was getting
Upgrading.
Yeah, exactly. I was upgrading
Investing
more and
in
more
yourself.
every time. And that's really when I felt like the steam picked up, when people seen that it was me that was handling these products early on. But it got better around, actually my stock went up crazy during COVID. But even then, before that, I was selling out every time I dropped.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to say when the steam picked up, because I feel like the steam hasn't picked up yet. I feel like I still got a chance for it to really go crazier. than it is right now.
It's
honestly.
more opportunity every day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the fact that you already been doing it is just like, it's already going to kind of like play out itself type shit.
So I put it this way: I feel like the pot's been boiled, been getting to a slow simmer, and the steam ain't start yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You feel me? So now it's like it's about that time for the pot to boil. So
being that you just talked about like COVID and everything, like in 2020, like when like it was at like it's like height and everything, what was kind of like the temperature like surrounding like you, like just still like continuing like to work with the brand and everything, like seeing that like a lot of like creators and people were like in the house and people really didn't know what was going on at the time.
It gave me a chance to push my level to a new height because I was in the crib. And it gave me a chance to like really have no other obligations outside of the crib. It's like there's my sewing machine and it's me and my brain and my thoughts. So it's like, how are we going to, level up? And I went from making clothes and I made a handbag for women and ran that up. And
that's definitely going to run it up.
No, I did. Facts. But the only thing that was bad about, not bad, it was a good learning experience for me being the first time entrepreneur was, that was my first time making the bag and I just threw it up to see what I could do.
So like expectations was kind of like set almost like, oh, you do this.
It was crazy, but this was the one time that I felt like I really kind of like fell flat on my face. Like I tried to level up, but it didn't. But it was like, nah, cuz chill. Like it wasn't a nah, cuz chill because I sold like 20 bags the first day. What
were like the like expectations like for the bag? Were you thinking like it was gonna be like a certain number like you wanted to sell out of it, or
nah? The expectation was for me was the quality that I was gonna be giving it to people, because in my head I had people not buying Telfar bags to buy this bag. So in my head it put a lot of pressure on me to make sure that these shits was perfect. So I was like not lacking, but I think I gave myself too much to just finish the product instead of being perfect. Well, I gave myself too much to finish, and I was trying to be so perfect that I never got a chance to really fully commit, to where it was like it took too long and I had to start sending out refunds in certain places and different things like that. So it was a good step-by-step process, but I can make a handbag now and people know that. Granted, it wasn't the most pure transaction,
but that's how it's gonna be though, because like when you making like products like that, like that's not clothing.
It's not.
That's different. Like,
I stepped into a whole different craft.
Yeah,
almost,
literally, basically. That's just crazy for. I know how that was. So like you got handbags. Oh yeah, I need like 3 of these. Like hold on, 3.
Yo,
it's a limited stock right here.
It was crazy because like so many people was like, yo, that bag, and I'm like, damn, like I really could make a bag. But what I did was what really was crazy about that was the bag that I made was a horrible bag. But the bag, when I put it out, people just liked the aesthetic of it. But when I actually made the bags, bro, it was a completely different world. Like
that's what I'm saying, because like in your head, like you probably could have been thinking like, man, like to me it doesn't look good, but maybe there's like a whole nother demographic of people who like may disagree, like, oh, like, nah, like this is a dope ass bag.
You got to think about it, like that's why I said a bag, that's accessories now. Now you dipping into like a whole nother like oh, people buy accessories like it's no tomorrow.
Like it ain't nothing.
It's like it's nothing.
Like people buy
bags,
fanny packs.
Fanny
it's like
packs,
a regular bag.
Like anything that you can throw on to the side with your outfit, it amplifies the outfit 1,000 times more.
And it was an all red bag, so so it was different.
Yeah, definitely.
It wasn't like that. It was like different, but it was a crazy like staple piece. And that's what COVID did for me. And I just ran it up. It's like that was around the time being a black business was like gold to everybody.
What made you think about like oh yeah, let me do a bag? Like what went through your head when you first like said that shit? Like,
man, these niggas, my fault, I ain't about to say it like that. They tried to tell me I had COVID, but I ain't feel nothing.
Wait, what?
Wait, what happened?
Like they said I had COVID. Like it was like I got a test that said I had COVID.
A false positive?
I don't know whether it was a false positive, but I was asymptomatic.
Okay.
So I was literally in the crib for 2 weeks straight, and I'm like, what I'm gonna do? And I had like a bunch of leftover like red leather, and then I was like, I'm about to just do something.
Yeah, fuck it.
Because to be honest with you, that's how I'm like create. I'm just like, I just want to do something like, and then see how it go. And what I ended up doing was I made like a little bag. I went online. It was like, let me see how I can make a bag. Made it, figured out what I want to do to it. Cut out some stencils, made the logo, went and grabbed like a bandana, wrapped it around the jaw, posted it on my story, and my story went nuts. And I'm like, oh, okay, they going nuts over this bag. You know what I'm about to do? Took a picture, threw it online like, yo, we dropping at 7.
Either you gonna get it or you gonna miss it.
It was really like I'm about to drop, cause like it ain't, you don't miss that type of wave, bro.
Yeah.
So when I seen it, I'm like, all right, I'm about to just drop. So I was like, look, at 7 they drop.
7 drop.
So in my head, I'm like, I'm just gonna make more as the orders come in. So when I say I sold them for. And the crazy thing about it, I should have sold them for a lot more, but I only sold them for $100.
What?
So I sold them for $100. I got 20. I sold 20 that day.
That's a steal.
It was a steal. In my head, and any entrepreneur said it's like it's a steal. But mind you, I'm still the person that got to make them.
Yeah.
So.
And that's a whole nother process in itself of just like
different. So this is what threw me off, because when I started looking at the bag that I made, I'm like, oh, this isn't functional. Like, it just looked good for the picture.
Yeah, but
it wasn't functional. So I had to actually learn. Like, I had to like go to deep in PA. I had to find different leather shops. I had to talk to the people that really I had to go get the tools. I had to buy a new sewing machine. And it started getting to the point to where I was spending the money that they gave me to make the bag to
overexceed like the
overexceed the limit, because I'm like, look, if this is gonna be my first bag, I might as well make it something. But I didn't mind taking on that, because at least I was able to show myself that I could do it. And
yeah, that's tough though.
It started, but I'm not gonna lie to you, like the process started getting bad. Like they look good, and then I'll be like, damn, like I can't actually do it this way, so I got to start over again. Okay. And it became a process. Good thing I put on the joint pre-order. Yeah. So it wasn't like you actually ordered it, but after a while, I just, I'm.
And on top of that, like if it's a pre-order, it's kind of like there's really like no rush at that point to really kind of like try to like do too much with it, when it's kind of like it's gonna be sitting here for a minute to make sure everyone's like accounted for.
Yeah, but when motherfuckers want that bag,
especially you said the red bandana, like all the shit that you just naming on it just look.
And it's hand stitched too.
Yeah.
But like even like thinking about that and everything, what would you kind of like tell people like as a creator like about like taking risk? Because like a lot of times like people not like want to take risk and everything. Would you say like it was like a risk to like do that bag?
Hell yeah. But I say do it. Like in my head, it's like, look, you jump without a parachute and hope. No, I'm dead serious. You jump without a parachute and hope that you grow wings on the way down. But if you aren't able to grow the wings immediately, if you panicking, you gonna fall faster.
I feel what you're saying. Like,
what I'm about to tell you is like you gotta enjoy the view though.
Yeah.
If you ain't enjoying that view,
then you gonna fall flat on your face. You gonna fall flat. You gonna be worried about the ground the whole time. It's a skyline that's going crazy right now. Yeah. You're not appreciating these blessings that's like really in front of your face.
You kind of gotta like take it for what it is almost. Like it's never going to be work in your favor, and like
unless you make it work in your favor.
Literally,
like the initial thing could be scary, but you could say, like you said with the wings and everything, you could save yourself from really thinking like you're going to do something where it's kind of like this shit's not going to work out. And if you have like good positive thoughts about it, then it's like nah, like this will work out.
It's like almost time. It's almost like I would say like how you was just saying like you jumping out the plane and shit. Like you don't got a parachute, but like. Niggas be panicking so much and so scared of what's going on, they didn't even realize they had a parachute on for in the first place.
Low key. And like, it's crazy because it's like, and your parachute really ain't nothing but you willing to do the work.
Literally.
And it's crazy because, and
you
I say
that parachute.
And I say, when I say grow wings, it's like at some point in time, you're not gonna fall, bro. You're gonna actually catch you're gonna catch yourself. And there's so many people that's afraid of the fall that they don't realize that, oh, it's a possibility that I can actually catch myself.
But even if that fall, like, this is people when they think the fall, they think that that's it. Like, they think that the world's over.
Oh, it's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
Everything's
like,
over.
When they see this and they going down to the ground and they feel like they see the ground, they like, oh, it's over for me.
It's over.
If it didn't work the first time, then it's probably not going to, like.
And it's crazy because a lot of people don't understand data and analysis and data and analytics.
Yeah.
You need data
Yeah.
in order to analyze what you did.
Yeah.
So that way you can see what's wrong and what's right. So the only way that I can get data is if I do something.
Yeah.
So if I did it wrong this time, next time I know.
That's data. Like no matter what you do, you're gonna collect data.
You're gonna collect data. So
but
even
you have
if
to
it's
do
bad
it though.
data or if it's good data, it
Still
don't matter.
data.
Not even that. It kind of like weeds out all the right and wrong and shit. So it's like, all right, I know what I'm not gonna do this time, so I'm not gonna have the same result.
Right.
Exactly, and that's how you're able to come back. You redirect. You set up your plan again, and then you go at it again.
Right.
Now you might do a little bit better this time. Like it's corporations that spend millions of dollars for a 3-year plan to figure out how bad they can mess this up. And then on the 3rd year, they like, okay, we figured out all the things that we messed up. We got that out the way. Now that was a $3 million investment we were going to put out there. And now I'm spending the $3 million to go get 10 30 million.
Right.
So it's like,
and that's what you kind of see like with like a lot of businesses now. You'll see like, oh, people always talk, oh, it might not last that long. It goes bad.
Yeah.
But then it does go bad. Say it does go bad and they forget about it. Some people forget about it. Now you hear about it again, like, oh, I thought it went bad type shit. It's like
it did.
It's still working because we still putting our money into it. We still investing in ourselves.
It went bad, but it's still up. Dip said it, a hard time never humbled us.
Yeah. It's like, man.
Not even that.
RP
Like
Nip,
it's
man.
just kind of like people just gotta like think more positive and shit like that. I feel like a lot of times like people kind of let the shit around them like affect like
them.
everything that's
Oh my
going
God.
on, like with just like they simple shit.
I'm talking about everything.
Nah, that's a
Right.
fact, but that's because people ain't sure of themselves. When you sure of yourself and you know what you got going on, none of that stuff matter.
Like I'm saying, like if you comfortable inside your own skin with just anything, then it's kind of like there should be like no worries and shit.
It ain't
Bro.
Like, but a lot of times, like I feel like what we was talking about, like kind of like people like get inside people's ear and everything on what could and what couldn't work and shit. But I feel like if you let like the outside world just kind of affect like what you got going on and shit, then you're gonna be questioning everything you do as far as like not even just like your business shit, just like in your own personal.
Nah, facts. I love when people try to talk to me and tell me like certain things, but I be looking at them like, I mean, that one part was good, but I'm not doing that.
Yeah, like thanks for the advice, but
Yeah.
like the more you kind of like take from other people, you learn from other people.
Yeah.
Like how you say you collect data and shit, but it's just like you're the only person that can kind of like shape your own destiny and shit. You can only change everything that you do. You only can do. You can't let anything else affect you or take it away because now it's not you anymore. It's not you. It's someone else, their vision that you're following. And now if something goes bad with it, now you make excuses for why certain shit happens.
Going bad. It's because you listen to someone.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing about this, like entrepreneurship and being a creative or a creator in general.
Yeah.
Is a lot of people, you're the person that's creative. So because you're the person that's creative, when other people come around you, it's because you have some type of attraction.
Yeah.
And within that attraction, people start to get an entitlement to feel like they can say something. But it's like, yo, for real, you can't say nothing. And if I'm willing to listen to you and I take what I just said from you, I'm not doing me no more.
Yeah.
It's now I'm doing us.
Yeah.
And unless you plan on being my partner and you gonna put in as much work as I am,
put enough work, show up, be on time,
If
do
you-
everything that I'm
until
doing.
you do all that, it's not a us thing. So whatever you say don't mean nothing to me.
But I always said like, and I said it before in like a few episodes before, like you get to a certain point inside your life where you just start realizing like everyone's not built like you. So I can't keep expecting people to move like me because there's only one of me.
Nah, fact.
People might have like similar morals and like certain shit they stand on like me and everything, but at the same time, I can't expect him to move exactly how I move.
Well, that's true too, but that's why you don't expect nothing. You either I put it this way, the bus waits for no man.
No.
Yeah, it keeps going. Like
It don't matter what time it is, whether you gotta get to work, none of that.
Like,
the bus waits for no man.
I got
Once
more.
the-
I got
Bus
more
comes
stops I gotta go
time
to.
and it leaves that time.
If you gonna be on the bus, you gonna be on the bus. If you not,
Right.
then you not.
Literally.
If you gonna be on that train, you gonna be on that train. If
you're not about to call the bus driver like, yo, come back.
It's not happening.
Nah.
You get chased after me.
Ship already sailed.
You get chased after me, but I got gas, bro.
Yeah. I already prepared for this moment.
The only thing that you can do after that is get your own bus.
Yeah.
Not even that. Opportunities. I feel like a lot of times people let certain opportunities like go by and just like their whole journey and shit.
Yeah, facts.
Like I think like people will
don't
get
see
like
opportunities, honestly.
Nah, they don't. They just kind of like
they just see negativity,
and then they just do shit almost. It's kind of like doing things just based off of just like other people.
Yeah.
Instead of doing shit off of what you think is best for you.
It's because they don't know. They still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Which is okay because everybody has that point in time where they're trying to figure it out. But at some point in time,
there's going to be no.
It's
time.
only you and God. It ain't nobody else. It don't matter if it's shit. I mean, your parents can tell you some things, but at some point in time, you got to be your own person.
Yeah. You go out and figure it like
Talk
yourself.
to yourself.
You have to because that's the only way that you're going to know what's good for you.
Right.
You could be sitting in a situation and then not realize you triggered. And it could be triggering you the whole time, but because you don't talk to yourself, you wouldn't know it.
And then you gotta. All right, what's your opinion on surrounding yourself with like certain people in your life? That's a big point part of your life, like because no one can be like completely like closed off from the world, but to a certain extent, the people that you have close to you, that's a big part of like who you are.
Yeah.
So like, what do you think the importance of like having certain people around you? Like, what do you think?
I feel like if you show me your friends, and I'll show you your future.
Yo, that's crazy you said that, yo. Because that's real shit.
You show me your friends, and I'll show you your future. And one thing I can say is friendships are subscriptions. You can cancel them.
Yo, right.
You do not have to keep spending your money on that magazine, bro. Like, that's just what it is. And a lot of people don't understand that because they're so
stuck in the moment.
They are stuck in that moment, but also too like they feel like they have to be obligated to somebody that ain't got nothing to do with you except sitting next to you. And one thing I can say is like if like I was telling you, like unless you doing as much work as me, or like this is one thing I can say. Like I got boys that got their own thing, but we still able to move on the same exact frequency because we on the same type time. And when you're not on the same type time, it's hard for me to understand you. Well, no, it's not hard for me to understand you. It's hard for you to understand me. Yeah, because you want me to be in the same place that you're in, but
we not in the same place.
I'm consistently elevating on a 24/7,
right,
365. Minute to minute basis. Like I'm always changing, I'm always moving. Something may put me on to something else, and then within the next hour I'm off everything. And granted, you gotta move gracefully. You don't just, you can just cut people off, but it's a way of doing it without having to burn them bridges. But
and that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of times, like when people think like, oh, you gotta like distance yourself away from certain like friends and everything. Like you don't gotta like cut them off completely, but there needs to be like an understanding. Know like boundaries. Yo, like it needs to be like a boundary where it's like you know,
they have to respect that boundary.
I can't be just kind of like just hanging around at this point.
And a lot of people don't really respect boundaries if they've been given your space for so long. At that point, it's like like I'm like you supposed to be around me, and it's like. I just chose to be around you. Yeah. And I appreciated you for what it was, but I'm really trying to do this right now. Yeah. And you're not on this side of the table. You're still where the microphone's at. Yeah. I'm over here where it's where it ain't nobody, ain't no traffic in this lane over here. Yeah. So it's like, it is. But I saw you show me your friends and I show you your future.
Like, real shit, yo. Like, what would you say, like, is the best advice somebody gave you, like throughout like your journey so far, like with just everything that's been happening?
The best advice?
Yeah, like what's like one thing like someone said that may have like stuck out to where it's kind of like you walked away from it, where it's like you could live by the shit that they said.
I mean, there's so many things. I take advice from everywhere. I take situations from everything. I'm I'm trying to think of something good that I can give you. It was an old school tailor. That I used to like sit with when I used to work in the showroom for this Canadian suit company. And he was like, I remember it was one time I was going through a lot, and I was having kids, and my wife we needed a new house, and that's what she wanted. And I didn't know what to do at first, but I just remembered what Moses was able to do with his staff when he was trying to get his people away from slavery.
Yeah.
And he told me, he was like, as long as you got your hands, you can make money.
Yeah.
So no matter what's going on, if I eat, like, you know how you was talking about the doubt and all that other stuff, it's like, as long as I got these and I still am functional here, I can do whatever it is that I want to do.
Yeah.
And also too, my uncle, he told me, he was like, you gotta leave your friends alone because they sound like that's one of them ones. Like, like, and that's where I got that. You show me your friends, I show you your future. That was one.
That's important. That's really important for
as long as you got this and you got these, you always gonna be good. No matter what's going on or what's happening, and you always gonna be straight.
Right.
But that's like some of the things that I say I can carry with me at all times. And honestly, keep God in your life.
Yes.
I mean, of course, that's the advice you've been getting since you was a kid.
But it's important to have a foundation, because if you don't know like what to stand on and everything, then it's kind of like you'll really like forget like who you're doing it for and what you're doing this thing for.
Who you are
for. But also too, if you don't have no hope, who else gonna have the hope for you? So it's like, it's times where you like you was just saying, like, people get that doubt, people get that feeling. Well, if I can't, because I'm only human,
right?
I can only be but so much. After a while, like, especially when you on Earth and you just flesh and bones, bro, like, we can't do much. We can't even use the majority of our brain. So it's like, at some point in time, something supernatural got to happen, and the only way that I can do that is if I'm believing in God. He the only supernatural person I know. He created all of this, like, so I have to believe in something higher than me in order for me to be able to move forward at them times where it's like, yo, like, I'm down and out. I gave everything I had and I lost it all because I wanted to take that risk, because I wasn't trying to live basic this week. So I took a risk. And some people, don't understand that. Yeah. But I got my head and I got my hands. So I knew I can go get some money. Pause. But
because like people always think like, yo, like you need the physical muscle. Like, nah, this right here is a muscle. And if you're not, like you said, we can't even use the full percent of our brain and everything. But for the percent that you have, like, use it to like your best of your ability to kind of know, like, yo, I can think and create anything I can and shit. You just gotta have a certain vision.
The thing is, you saying about you can actually use all your brain, but it's just you can only use it at certain times, like certain parts at certain times. But if you practice enough, like certain like like training and like certain like meditations, a lot of shit that goes into it, you can actually like achieve a lot more than you actually could ever do. But you got to be at peace and with yourself and your mind. The more stress you go through the everyday life, going to 9 to 5s, worrying about friends, family, and all this other shit. That shit does a lot to your brain that you don't even like. You didn't even know that was going on. And that's why people have heart attacks. People have certain things. 'Cause damn, like all these symptoms coming up, all these problems going on with their health, and that has to do with their mind for real.
No, yeah. And to be honest with you, a lot of the times people stop themselves because of their own mind.
Yeah.
It's like they conjure up something in their head.
Like they let mental roadblocks like really get them off course for what they're supposed to be doing.
I was talking to somebody.
I call them mental prisons.
And they was telling me, so they were saying, I was telling somebody else this. So you think about it like this. All right, you telling somebody, okay, yo, you doing this. You're telling me your story, and I'm telling you my story, my opinion, right?
Yeah.
If I never said anything about that opinion, your whole basis could be completely different than until I pitched in and said something about it.
Yeah.
Your whole thought process was different until I just pitched. Well, maybe this just in the third.
People plant seeds and don't even realize the seeds being planted.
Right, and that's why.
And 3 months later,
that's
they be
why
like, "Oh well, you know."
Yeah,
Like, nah,
it just happened.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You heard me say this, so I'm telling you something, and you were trying to give me your input. The first reaction I'm having is like, all right, now I'm trying to perceive that you're trying to help me or trying to like try to do your best to like give me your best opinion or.
Yeah.
But at the same time, is you're almost kind of like trying to trick or not trick, but like change my mind in a way because now you got me thinking about different probabilities that I didn't have to think about.
But that also takes you to understand how to filter everything because
through a certain way.
You have to filter everything that everybody says, no matter what. It don't matter who it is. Like you could be sitting there and it could sound dope, and you could be like,
Yeah, let me hear that back again, and let me like put it down on. Like,
or you just let that you just let it
it
flow, and you just kind of like sit with it.
Yeah.
And then after a while, you just be like, well, if it don't apply, because sometimes people will say something to you, and naturally, it'll happen naturally. It'll apply to you naturally to where you don't actually have to think about it. It'll just become a thing because it fits.
It just fits
whatever that you was going in. But if you got to think about it too much, and you like, it's like I'm wasting time at this point.
And that's
I
why
might as well just keep it moving.
And that's why I kind of tell people like, yo, like you don't always have to say something like all the time. Like some people just like some kind of like listen to people. Like people don't listen to people at all.
But that's also your job to say, look, I'm not looking for a response when I'm saying this to you.
Right.
I'm saying this to you because I want you to hear
what I gotta say.
People think everything needs. There's certain comments that happen that doesn't need a response or reaction.
Really.
So it's
kind of
like
with effective communication, and a lot of the times, effective communication comes from the person that's delivering it, and they can't be upset if somebody gives it back to them the way that they didn't want it because you didn't tell them like, yo, I don't need you to respond to me right now.
Right.
I just
you
need
didn't communicate that with them. Communication is key with a lot of things.
But even like with saying that though, there's a lot of people who don't know how to communicate with other people.
Yeah,
that takes self-awareness and time.
Yeah. Like a lot of times, like people don't know how to do certain shit. Like I remember a couple semesters ago, I was taking a public speaking class and everything, and a lot of times like the intimidation just came up when certain people, when we had certain assignments where you have to really like talk in front of like a massive amount of people and everything. And sometimes like a lot of people get like their own insecurities on like, what's the crowd going to think if I say the wrong shit, or what's going to happen if like I stumble, or like people just don't like sometimes have like the best communication skills.
Yeah. I mean, that comes with time and effort, but it also comes with you getting sick of yourself and wanting to be better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people haven't gotten sick of themselves yet. They say that they do, but they haven't. They haven't gotten sick of themselves to where they're like, nah, this is what I'm doing. I'm about to stop and I'm gonna fix this. Because
that comes down to like pride. Almost.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have pride, who are you? If you don't have an ego, who are you?
Yeah.
Like, but people got to understand, like how you saying, filter certain things. How to use everything. You got to know how to use that to your advantage, not your disadvantage.
Yeah.
People use that for a disadvantage and wonder why it's not working because you're too egotistic and you're worrying about the wrong things. Like you're just not focused on what you need to change.
Yeah.
Focus on what other people need to change. Instead of you take action for yourself and say, fuck what niggas will think. You feel what I'm saying?
Nah, yeah. Hell yeah.
But that's scary, though. You know what I'm saying? Saying fuck what somebody else thinks. Like, oh, like, people think, that's
only scary if you make it scary. I'm not going to lie. It's a certain set of protection that you want to have for yourself in order to, because, like, some people will look at it like, oh, I'm being mean. But it's like, nah, like, fuck what you saying, bro.
Yeah, word.
Like, I respectfully.
Yeah.
But fuck what you saying. Because I can't listen to that right now. That ain't for me.
And
if it was for me, I'd accept it. But right now,
I don't need to be hearing that at this moment.
Yeah.
Not to say it's bad, but I just can't. Right now, I don't need to hear what you're saying.
It's like them I told you so situations where it's like, like nigga, I already know what happened.
You know, fucking.
I don't need you to tell me again.
But everybody under the sun's waiting for that moment.
You know, for everybody hates Chris, Drew and shit.
Yeah,
that nigga used to do that shit all the time.
I told you. So.
And it's one of them moments, like, and it don't gotta be that specifically, but fuck what you saying.
And a lot of times, though,
to
be for real, like the cold blunt, it'd be your own people that want to give you that "I told you so" moment. But
that's because they're like your people. A lot of the times feel entitled to your time that you've been giving them.
Yeah.
When you give people that kind of time, it's like being with your girl. If you stay around her enough, she not gonna want you to leave, bro. Unless she don't like you. But if you doing the right thing and you handling it yourself, she gonna be like, no, like why are you going? What are you doing?
It's entitlement. Yeah.
Like it just becomes that thing. Yeah. So it's like it all depends on how you deliver it to them and how you essentially decide to give it up. But also they should be able to respect it regardless. But everybody don't, know how to do that. So you gotta like meet people where they at. But
being in the space right now where it's kind of like a lot of like creators like hot at the moment right now, and then especially like even like Black creatives and everything. Like, what do you think like is like the biggest thing right now as far as like being like a Black creative? 'Cause like a lot of times like we'll spend our money with people who don't look like us and everything, and we'll overlook the Black creators that are really doing stuff.
So I feel that. And I honestly feel like when it comes to the Black creative question, we need to just stick together more and stop trying to be the person that's trying to get on and make it a collective thing. But when it comes to buying designer, bro, this shit hot.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, it's like, I don't care what nobody say. They've created, like, marketing is a beautiful thing. It's one of the most amazing things in the world. You could take something that don't look like nothing and make it look like $1 million. And because these people have the funds to do it, I cannot be mad at my people for wanting to wear it.
Yeah.
Especially the way that we've been conditioned for so long.
So long.
Like, there's one thing that I can say is like, yes, buy from us. For sure. Buy from us. But I can't help if I want to go get some Prada, bro.
Like the latest shit.
Like some Prada,
if I
right?
Go get some Gucci. If I want to go, like, it's certain things. And then also, too, when I walked into the Louis store, they said, hello, Mr. Wagner, and they gave me a glass of champagne. Mm-hmm. When I left, I had a receipt, and as long as I had my receipt, I can always go back, and they can always do something for me. Mm-hmm. Like, paying for luxury is more than the actual product. It's the customer service after the product.
Yep.
You get treated way different at a Benz dealer than you get treated at a Honda dealer.
Absolutely.
You get treated way different at a Rolls dealer than you get treated at a Mercedes dealer. It's like, well, I'm not necessarily saying there's any differences, but well, it's basically what a Maybach is basically like their version of a Rolls because they kept sending people to Rolls. Yeah. But it's just one of those things. It's like I pay for like people pay that money to get that type of treatment. You want to get pampered every once in a while. That's why people that come from a very impoverished community or come from like that standpoint that they never had anything and they just want to feel it. Some people just want to feel good, and that they do be racist, but they are racist, but it comes with a desire from being
they're low. They're not going to turn the money down.
They're not.
I'm not gonna turn the money down.
I forgot what I was watching one time, but somebody said something on like a show I was watching. They was like, "Yo, like if they could give us like a total receipt of how much money black niggas give to Air Jordans,
we run all that
Timberlands,
Jordan.
Like, I'm telling you right now, there's an actual percentage. It's something you should look up. We as black people control the dollar
market
of all like vanity type things. Like we control all that. It's our money that's spending it. But that's the one thing about it though too. We have to stop spending that money, not because we don't want to get those things, but because we have to acquire the things that they have in order to make the same product and give the same type of professionalism and pampering and stuff like that, the customer service, because that's where a lot of small black businesses lack. We're still small. So a lot of people are expecting us to be within a dynasty of companies that's in like LVMH or anywhere like Ford or whatever. And it's like, yo, these people been around for decades and centuries. You cannot expect us to be the same exact. You can't expect us to be Amazon, bro.
Yeah,
And
not yet.
one thing I can say is like when it comes to the black dollar coming to the black creative, we tend to not get as much love because we're not as polished as a 10 to however many year old business.
Yeah.
So they kind of like, oh, I see. That's why I don't mess with black people. But it's like, nah, like you should. Yeah. You should want to go through this triumph with us, so that way you can understand what it's like to see somebody go from this to this. Like you gotta watch me bloom from my cocoon.
And then even something else I was watching one time. Somebody like had to like really remind people like, yo, like these high fashion brands, they weren't made for us.
They weren't.
Versace wasn't made for us. LV wasn't made for us. So it's like you also gotta remember like, yo, like we weren't even supposed to originally have these brands and shit.
Yeah, we weren't.
But that's the biggest thing about it is like that's the aha moment for us where it's like we wasn't supposed to have it, but we can get it now.
That's what I'm saying. Like we're at that table.
It's like no, we're not at the table.
We're not at that table, but we're at the expense.
We at the door.
We at the counter.
Yeah, we at the
counter. Like honestly, but I can't tell people not to buy from them. I can't be discouraged.
Buy whatever you want.
Buy whatever you want, in my opinion. But buy black, yes. But it's certain people it's certain things in our people that want to have that status. Now, that's just the DNA of what we come from and the different things that happen to us. There's actual training videos in retail from like the 50s where it teaches you how to sell to a Negro. And it'll say on the actual video, Negroes like to buy brands. They don't like to buy products. They like to buy names. So you sell them the names, whatever is the highest paid thing, and they feel like it's going to be that this is where they get their self-worth from. And that's what it's saying on the video. That's like a training video that you go to when you get hired. Yeah. Which is crazy. But honestly, that's for whatever reason, that's where we come from. It sounds crazy, but
Naga, they're telling you to your face, like, we're gonna convince you just to buy this shit for the name. You would care less what this product is and everything, but you'll buy the name though.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's something that's probably way cheaper. That they use the same exact manufacturer. You just don't know it. Yeah. Granted, the high fashion houses have their own things that can't nobody else get, and they have their own stuff, so it makes them very exclusive. But I'm always going to say buy black, but I can't tell my people not to want to live better or not to want to feel better.
I feel like it's buy black, but it's by who you think like you see potential in growing. Like businesses, like some business have potential to be the top businesses, the top clothing brands and top things. But you can see if you really do your research on these people and really see how they came from and where they started from and their whole story, then it's like, damn, like I can be back that because I know where they came from, and it's like that with almost any industry that you're in. Almost,
I say, but I also say too with like buying black. If you gonna buy black, that means you just bought patience too. Yeah, and a lot of people when they buy black, they don't have the patience to be a black customer. Yeah, because the first thing that they want to do is be like, oh well, I don't like putting people on blast, but I'm going to go on my story and I'm going to bash you. But instead of being like, yo, I understand what's going on, is it something that I can tell you to help you get better without putting you on blast and having everybody look at you like you bad business? And like people don't realize that when you buy from black, you're investing in you're investing in legacy. You're investing in like a tradition and a different type of thing. But you don't get that type of stuff when you buy from a white person because they're not thinking that way. They'll have patience with a white person. Yeah. Because they're going to be like, oh, I'm going to call HR. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure that out. A lot of us don't have HR.
Let me talk to your boss.
I said they going to do their research
They gonna do whatever.
A lot of people, like,
They don't tell you about the grind.
Like I said, they don't do their research. They're not looking things up. Like they just want instant answers.
That too, and you can call a black business owner.
Yeah, definitely can.
You can't call Phil Knight.
No, you can't.
You're not calling the CEO of Versace and the CEO of
Or you can hit him up on the DMs or do whatever. Now it's on, but of course it's up to the business owner to become somewhat unattainable, but able to still respond. But it's like it's a lot of
like rest in peace, like rest in peace, like the Virgil and everything. Like they'll rock with Virgil when he was like the head off White, but they won't tell you about like the startup. They won't tell you about the journey all the way up.
Yeah, I mean, well, one thing I can say is Virgil had it a little different, because once you start designing for Ye, and you get all your stuff on the right people, and you start doing DJ parties, it's a little bit different.
It's a lot.
You're able to control the narrative, but when you getting it out, not saying that Virgil didn't get it out the mud, but when you front like
I don't think he got out of the mud.
Well, I can't say that he didn't, because bro, anybody that's able to create something like that, I understand where you're coming from. I know he didn't get it out of our kind of mud.
It's certain levels of mud.
It's different types of mud.
Different mud.
Yeah, different types of
then become like a creator, like a creative director of LV, and then like
it's heavy, but it's a long story.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Like,
what would you say you think your true purpose is when it comes to this designing, and not many are like us? Like, what is your true purpose behind this?
Well, just showing people that it's possible, honestly, because how many people that's been working for themselves for over, I'm like, with them going on year 3.
Yeah. A
lot of people gotta have a business, but they still got their their other business, their other job on the side.
Yep.
To make sure that they able to pay the bills and stuff like that. But it's like it's possible to not have to do that. Yeah. And I just want to show people, one, it's possible, and two, to inspire them to at least try or start something. Yeah. Even if you do have a job, like, I just want to inspire people and just show them what's up.
There's nothing wrong with having a job, man. Because
nothing wrong with
having a job. It's called multiple streams of income.
Yeah.
But if you do have a job, just know it might take away from what you're trying to do from your regular shit.
If you give somebody 40 hours a week and you only giving your job and you only giving your business 20, your business ain't never gonna do what it's supposed to.
Yep.
And that's just what it is. Mm-hmm. And one thing I can say is if you do have a job and you are trying to transition into being an entrepreneur full time, I would start off full-time, then drop down part-time while you getting your bread together on this side. And then once you can outweigh those two, don't do it the way I did it. Because the way I did it was crazy. I'm not going to lie. Like, I mean, granted, I had some bread, but the way I did it was like very like, oh, well, like I was cocky. Cocky enough. It was one of them things like, who did I think I was to think that I could do this?
Okay.
Which essential is like, I thought I was me because I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But it's like, in some cases, it's kind of crazy to just be like, all right, I ain't doing this no more.
Like I said, it's different for everybody.
Yeah,
it's definitely different for everybody. But if you know, like, and you know your true like abilities and capabilities of actually getting things done, then no one can tell you anything for real.
Nah, they can't tell you nothing.
Can't tell you nothing because I'm gonna do stuff. I'm gonna do it regardless. In this time, in these 24 hours that I'm awake, or if I'm up 24 hours, usually I sleep at least like 4, 3, 5 hours. You know what I'm saying?
All right, real good. But even if you sleep 10, like as long as you get, because rest is a part of the process.
Nah, definitely. You got to get some rest.
You don't want to burn yourself out just trying like overdo and overassert yourself.
That midnight oil, like, oh yeah, I sleep when I'm dead, is not conducive to a productive day at all. A productive day, body or mind state.
Got to be refreshed.
You have to sleep. You have to give yourself the right. It's like charging your phone to 14% and then going out.
Yeah, like it's kind of
Like
It's gonna last for a couple hours, maybe.
Especially if it's lit on the gram and you try to post on the story, it's over. Your
Nah.
shit done before you
can't
get it.
post.
It's over for
You
you.
can't post.
Like,
You got dinner, turn your brightness
down.
down. You got
like,
the
low power mode, all that.
It's up.
Close all the
Like,
apps.
Yeah.
but it's like we talked about earlier, like you need to have a balance with certain shit and everything.
Yeah.
Have a balance for the time that you're really trying to be up doing your certain thing, and then have a balance of time where I need to get my correct amount of rest so I can continue to keep on doing what I'm doing at a level where it's like I don't feel myself being sluggish or I gotta like really try to convince myself to get up and all types of other stuff.
Yeah, word.
Like
It's a lot to it. Just make sure you value your time for real.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Because time is the greatest currency of all.
Yeah. Can't get that. That shit's
You
like,
can get money back. You can't get time back.
no, you can't.
like who's some people like maybe associated with you or like probably like in the same like lane, like maybe some peers and everything, like creative wise that we should be looking out for?
You want to look for Kamani. He got a brand called Savoy Studios, and you want to look for a girl named Taylor. She has a brand called Karma 7. And I think for right now, that's one of the things that I want to say, because those are, those are my people that I know for a fact you should look out for, because they doing their thing.
Like, because like I said, the more spotlight a lot of these people.
Sorry. And my cousin Russ, he got Drive Slow. He's crazy.
Oh, all right. I kind of like that name.
That's dope, because like I said, like a lot of times, like some of these people, they might not get the spotlight that they deserve and everything.
No,
and like a lot of these people, like they'll be the hidden gems that all of a sudden like no one hears about. But as soon as they blow up and everything, I was on for them from like beginning and everything.
Everybody love to be the person to be like, you wasn't around when. It's like, go ahead.
Like do what y'all gotta do, man. But don't be the one on the bandwagon. Like when someone makes it big, all of a sudden, man, I was there since 2018.
You're already gonna know that's gonna
happen.
Like it's gonna happen though. Like
you treat them accordingly though. You still show them love because they showing you love, but you just know where you just know where they stand. Cause everybody ain't at day one, even if they was there from day one.
Yeah. They wasn't really grinding with you. Nah. You was in there every day.
Shooting
in the gym. Shooting the gym.
Like, I think one of my last few questions and everything, like, what kind of, like, growing up, like, influenced your style?
What influenced my style growing up?
Yeah, like, as far as, like, the one, like certain ways to dress.
Inspirations almost.
Like, inspirations and everything.
I mean, my uncle, drug dealer, in and out the hood. We get new sneaks every week. He got every jersey on authentic Mitchell and Ness Jones, like State Property, of course Hove. But State Property, Hove, like it was really like that. You know that
the early Rockefeller days.
I'm a Rockefeller baby, bro. And then like after a while,
shout out to
Hove. Of course, Ye popped up, and then after Ye popped up, Rocky was in there. And then after that,
Rock
it was kind of like, then like really, it's a certain amount of people, but I've always had my own like style. But when it came to like certain things, I would take bits and pieces from everywhere, and then create my own.
Yeah.
So, but those are like some people that really influenced it for sure.
That's good.
They said Rocky was more my college days. Ye was more like in the mix of like that State Property, like high school, like stuff like that. But middle school and like from kid to up, that was my uncle all day long. He went to jail when I was in middle school, so I was wearing his clothes, but I had to go find, somewhere else to go because I could wear his clothes. At that time, we was wearing like 2X.
Everything. Oh yeah, everything was big.
Big white, small, big white tees.
Yeah, crazy. So
if you were small, you
I
were
was
in a
good.
Like
stuff was crazy.
Yeah, it's a whole different era for her.
Whole different vibe.
That's what I'm saying. Like you look back at some like the fashions of like kind of like the early years of just like maybe like the early 2000s shit. Like when niggas was rocking like just the baggy ass jeans and just kind of like
looking
groovy,
ignorant,
trying.
ill fitted. Like Just
like
crazy.
they didn't even care type shit.
Nah.
They just wore like clothes type shit for real.
Nah, yeah. I mean, but at the same time, that was the style.
Yeah. I feel like it was more laid back though.
Yeah, for sure. Because I would go to the store and buy a 5-pack of white tees every week.
Yeah.
All I needed was a white tee, some Rockaware jeans, and a good
You're
pair.
good.
Yeah, as long as
Throw
my
a
sneaks
hat
was
on,
crazy.
sneak.
That's all you
here.
needed. You needed what? You needed
The
a
top
fitted,
and the bottom,
a fitted
yeah.
from Lids, a fitted from Lids with your name on it or
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
and a crazy pair of sneaks.
You're good.
And I'll go about my week.
And I'm straight.
Like,
So what you got coming up, man? What's coming up? Some drops? What's going on?
Definitely got some drops coming. I'm gonna be doing a lot more sewing this year, so I'm gonna be doing a lot more one-of-ones and like very direct pieces towards things. I'm gonna be doing a lot of video work. I'm already doing that now, but I'm gonna be trying to put together some projects.
Okay.
But for the most part, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I'm a simple dude. I keep it straight to the point. I don't be trying to do a bunch of crazy stuff. It's video and it's sewing.
Okay.
And but I'm gonna be doing a lot of one-on-ones. And you're gonna be seeing a lot of production from the film side. So that's the biggest thing for me this year.
Like
Oh, and I'm farming. We doing a lot of farming.
Farming?
all right, cool.
That's good. That's crazy.
Definitely gotta look out for that and everything.
Yeah, look out.
Like, before we get out of here, like for the people that's watching, like, what do you want, like, the final message, like, for people to get out of this today that listen through and just kind of
Yeah,
like,
what's the final message?
Like, leave them with a message and everything.
The message is not many of y'all like us. For real. Like, it's always about the family. No matter what, everything is about the family. And all you want to do is make sure that you find your tribe. You got to find those people that got the same goal, physically, monetarily, spiritually. And y'all going for the same goal and making sure that y'all doing it y'all way.
Yep.
And just make sure that y'all on the same page. As long as you're on the same page and as long as y'all striking for what y'all need to strike for and y'all hitting y'all goals and y'all moving, you good to go. So I just say make sure you find your tribe and peace and NMALU.
Let's get it, man.
My brother DJ Zay, man, what should they be expecting from us, man?
Saying new episodes coming out every week, man. We back on our shit, man. Got a lot of music coming out, getting ready for merch coming out. Just to give y'all, man, it's a lot of collabs going up. It's a lot, man. Just stay tuned. Rock with the show. Like, share, and subscribe. That's what we do, man.
And like I said before, like, I really appreciate Kelvin for pulling up
for real.
on us,
Appreciate
man.
you
I appreciate
coming
y'all.
up.
And like just kind of let people know what you got going on. So definitely want to like really appreciate you for like coming through.
Yeah, facts.
Ain't nothing. I appreciate y'all just wanting to talk.
Yeah, man. That's what we do, man.
You already know it's what we do. It's your boy Swaggy T.
It's your boy DJ Zay.
Yes, sir. And it's KM.
We out.